Warning, this show contains topics related to real-life events, but we are always 100, and it's not for the weak-hearted or simple-minded audience. Content may be too real at times, and opinions will be voiced and untamed. You are strongly advised to stay out your feelings and keep that bitch-ass shit to a minimum. Enjoy the show.
I suppose you could say naughty.
Alright, this is RekaJ from the A with my homies on play, and this is my co-host Tip Top, and this is the Always1Hunnid show. Yeah. Alright, welcome to the Always1Hunnid show. I'm RekaJ from the A with my homies on play.
And I'm Tip Top, and today's topic is Black women. Enough is enough.
Alright, and we are coming back this week. We hope you enjoyed our episode, the Black Men Enough is Enough, that we just viewed last week. I have a new haircut, so we are back, and we are ready to talk about some Black women stuff today. I have a panel of beautiful women here. To my right, I have Nicole, who I've known for 30 years. I met Nicole my first year at Westlake, and I also know Mink for about 8-9 years. Young entrepreneur, young mom. And I wanted to bring these women to the panel today because these are some awesome women. And we just want to talk because we're tired. Okay? We're tired. Enough is enough. And, you know, we brought the men to the table. And I respect the men, and I'm glad that the men came. But men don't talk like we talk.
No.
Men don't get emotional. And I think without emotions in the world, things move a little slower. You got to have some emotions in there.
You got to have truth.
Got to have some truth.
And you got to have vulnerability.
Okay.
Because you got to recognize that you need help, which most men don't know how to say, hey, I'm drowning.
Okay.
Right.
So you got to start there first.
All right. So I'm going to give Nicole an opportunity to introduce herself, and Mink as well.
So I'm Nicole Jones. I go by J. Nicole Speaks. I am an author, a life coach, a narrative healing coach. And what that means is I want women to share their story and share their truth. I put a group of women in anthologies and let them just tell their truth. And that's healing. There's a lot of power in healing and telling the truth, not holding it in. It actually heals your body from the inside when you let some of those traumatic experiences go through writing. So that's what I do.
Okay.
Hi, I am Mink. I am a single mother of 2 beautiful little girls, born and raised here in Atlanta. And I work in the entertainment industry. I do several different things, but essentially I own a creative business management company that works out of here in Los Angeles. I also do digital marketing for a couple different clients here in Atlanta and Maryland. So I do a couple different things, but essentially a young entrepreneur, like Mom said, and yeah.
Okay. So welcome. I want to say today is Tiffany's mom's 6-month anniversary since she lost her mom. And I want everybody to keep my co-hosts in their prayers. Of course, you know who I am. I'm an original AT alien. So we got some ATL peaches up in here. Some Georgia peaches. Some for real Georgia peaches up in the house.
Red clay peaches.
And so, you know, we came to the table today. I just actually came from the doctor at 4:30. We were supposed to film Monday, I think, and I had an episode where I was sick. And I have these episodes. I don't know what brings them on.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
You know, today the doctor said that he found a cyst on my liver. And it's a lot of things that go on with Black women in the medical industry, right? My medical record could be a case study. A lot of my issues have been brought from my past discretions, which I own that. And so I'm ready to accept whatever has come to play. But at the end of the day, I knew that I had this show to do, and I needed to do it. Not because I wanted to be Superwoman, but a lot of times that is who we have to end up being at the end of the day. So yeah, you know, dealing with a lot of the health issues come from, as Nicole mentioned, emotional stress. As we are all mothers, there is no way that we cannot be emotionally stressed.
There isn't a way that we can not be emotionally stressed, but it's how we respond to it. We're mothers, And outside of me, most of our children are grown.
Absolutely.
And we have to get to the point where no matter what we thought we did or did not do, we have to let it go.
Right.
And that's a hard thing to do. But when you are angry, when you are worried, it literally takes your cells.
It kills you.
It reprograms your cells because we weren't even built. That's why when you see babies, they're so happy. They're so happy.
Free.
They're light, they're free. And then life happens. We put them in school and it's grades. We're telling them, you can't read fast enough. You can't do this. All of these things reprogram our inside.
Yeah.
Right.
You go through relationships. You get mad at old boy. You know, y'all going through y'all stuff. Why my head hurting?
Yeah.
Why my stomach hurting? Everything you eat, your stomach hurts.
Right.
You can't eat anything. We're not built that way.
No.
When I was going through the mess I was going through in my marriage, I ate pizza, which we would eat pizza every Friday night. This particular Saturday morning, my stomach was hurting. I stayed in the bed for all day Saturday. Woke up on that Sunday, and Spirit was like, we're not doing this. He's not going to make you sick. You got stuff to do. From that point on, whatever you did, that's on you, bro.
Now see,
That's
I
on
can
you,
talk
bro.
about that also because I've been sick for like 5 years straight, going back and forth to the doctor. I don't know where the pain is coming from. Stressed like hell. But not until a couple of months ago, after my mother passed, I said I'm not laying down anymore. I can't sit in the bed and just lay there and not function like I'm supposed to because I'm my mother and I'm dating and I got stuff going on. I just can't. Regardless of the pain, I got to move on. I got to push. I got to push through.
You got to push because a lot of times, if y'all probably seen it, somebody will break up with somebody, they'll go through a divorce, and that woman man going on about his business.
Right.
Yeah.
She gets stuck. She start gaining weight. Hair big.
Falling out.
What is wrong with you?
I think that as I'm, you guys have definitely been through more than I have and all this kind of stuff. But what I will say is in this journey, I've been in a relationship since I was 17, broke up with them when I was 27. I had no idea who I was at all. And so after leaving that situation and stepping back as a single mom, I realized how important I was to me. And how can I be my best me to my little girls who are watching me when I'm not taking care of myself?
Absolutely.
And that is so powerful. Like I
Truly.
feel amazing. And I look at you because I deal with the same thing with my mom. My mom was married to my father for 20 years. He dogged her. He dogged her. You get what I'm saying? And my mother has been stuck for a very long time.
But what has that done to her health?
Oh my goodness. On top of that, she lost her mother and her father within a year. My mom was just on her way back from the funeral for her dad. They were 90 plus years old, so these were things that we could prepare for.
Yeah.
But nobody's ever ready to lose their mother or
Yeah.
their father. So with all that happening, my mom instilled great things into us. I'm the youngest of 5.
Okay.
Kids are successful. Kids are totally.
Okay. I'm talking now. You good?
Kids are successful. People, my family's flourishing. People are getting married and having children and all that good stuff. And my mom is watching that, but she's still dealing with the emotional stress that she's bringing from the marriage to my father.
Because we get stuck, like you just said. But you have a choice. And one thing I think, because I do a lot of coaching of divorced women. I actually did a show last week of a woman that I coached last year. And she was fresh in it. And so she would send me a scenario. How should I respond to this? He's taking the girls around this new woman. How should I respond? You're not responsible for him.
Right.
He has that liberty.
That you can only control your controllables.
Yes. You can't control that. That's good. You can only control your controllables.
What stresses you out more when you're trying to control somebody
else.
Like, let it go. Let him,
I don't want him around my girls. You don't have anything to do with that.
Right.
You got to pray and cover your girls. They're his children too.
Right.
He's not going to harm them.
So I want to ask y'all this. Is the breakdown in our community with intimate relationships because we're afraid to talk about these things?
Oh, I was just going to say it. We don't do this. We don't talk about it.
Truth.
I feel like as a young person, and I'm trying to date God, but I realize I'm not vulnerable. I wasn't raised to be vulnerable. Like we
Okay.
were talking about how, you know, the women who are raising our young men nowadays are, you know, enabling them to a certain extent. But in that same breath, and I watched my mother do it to my brothers. I have two
I was gonna
brothers.
say not just now.
Yeah, I have two
It's been a
brothers.
Been that
thing.
way.
You
Yeah,
love your,
I have two
you know,
sisters,
raise your
two older
daughters, love your
sisters.
sons.
And even my mama, let's just take my daddy out of it for a second. My mother was different with my brothers than she was with my sisters.
That's a slavery. That's left over from slavery.
Me and my sisters, you can't tell us nothing. Like we were taught to be that way. We were taught to. My brothers were spoon fed. Now, don't get me wrong, they are amazing men. My mama flipped the curve. I don't know where she did it at, but she created amazing men. My brothers are amazing. But with me, as far as speaking my truth and being real about my emotions, my father taught me the opposite. You don't need no man for nothing. You know,
Which is
you know,
detrimental.
right, it is absolutely.
It's
I don't
abusive.
know
It's detrimental.
how to
It's abusive
submit.
because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that when we understand the breakdown of being taught that,
Yeah.
because you know the saying is we raise our daughters and we love our sons. It comes from a place of fear of I'm scared to lose my son, so I'm going to pacify him and appease him
It's
to
a
make sure
slavery.
that I don't lose him. And so that belief and those teachings have been taught down, and so the man comes from a place of, look, they might come get me one day. I need you to know how to be able to survive. I need you to be able, and then so we've gotten away from the unity of it.
But
Because of
and that
that.
unity really is destroying our community. The lack of unity
Absolutely.
in our community is destroying our community.
What I see is men who are used to their mothers doing it all,
Right.
who expect the women in their lives to also do
That's
it all.
not just a young man thing, though.
Well,
There are, because if you're dealing with that, please believe that I deal with that
yeah.
in my age group. You know, women that are older. There are grown boys.
Yeah.
Well, so and that's important you say that because people really don't grow up. I'm big on that. You are the age of your trauma. Whatever happened to you, whether someone came and touched you at 8 or your mother moved you out of y'all's big 5-bedroom house at 8 to a housing project, what it does something to your psyche.
Right.
And so most
You can
people
usually
just
see it.
age.
You can
You
usually
can
see
see
it.
it. You
Yeah.
can see what you're dealing
Yeah.
with. They might be 36, but give them about an hour. He 11.
Right.
Or she's 12.
Right.
I worked with somebody who I know was 50-something, and depending on the setting, you could see 5 different personalities. And I was like, something happened to her. If it
Right.
was a meeting, she would put on this little girl's foot. What is
So you
it?
got to deal with that in a kid.
You got to deal with hey, we don't talk about that, especially in our community.
It's too painful.
Well, it's true.
Well, I watched the live the other day, and it was a young lady that she does makeup, and she's very prominent or influence. She's an influencer basically, and she was talking about what happened to her as a child. And her mother had passed, and then the person that did something to her had passed, and she was just going back and forth. And she was like, I suppressed all this stuff. So now I'm in a relationship, and she's controlling everything. So her husband is about to leave her because she's controlling everything. She's controlling everything because she had no control over what happened to her.
That's exactly
So now
what it
she's
is.
controlling him, and he's like, hey, I'm not used to this. And some men are not. They don't know how to handle
Most
that.
men are not. Even the ones that stay in those relationships, trust me, boo, he's somewhere else. He's not really here. He is not present. He's physically here for you and these kids, and he has an obligation to his credit report not to walk out on this house, so he's trying to maintain his bills.
So how do y'all feel? How do y'all feel when men say, well, you know, you weren't talking to me and you
That's a cover-up.
weren't cooking for me and
Cover-up.
I
It's a
needed some
cover-up.
attention.
It's a cover-up.
A cover-up for what? Because obviously there's a lack of love there, right? That these
And
men
respect.
and women too, because oftentimes we look for love in all the wrong places, right? But how do you feel about that when men say that? Like,
I would say sometimes it could be a cover-up. sometimes it can be true because we have some women that just don't talk, they don't do this, they don't do that, but they didn't see the red flags before they got into a relationship. Now they're deep down into it, and they're in love, and they don't know what to do or whatever, and then they try to go to somebody else and try to get that same, get a different response. But at the same time, you weren't supposed to be in a relationship with this woman.
With that particular person. A lot of people get into relationship for the wrong reason.
So I want to ask the question: can we define love?
Yes.
I have redefined.
Go on. Tell me.
Ooh, y'all.
Yeah, you like. Come on.
Okay, like we said, I've been in a relationship for a long time. 17, I didn't know. I had an idea of what I thought love was then, and I was in that. And then as time went on, and I started to discover myself and understand what I needed and how to be vulnerable enough to expect that from a man, my definition of it changed. And I knew that I wasn't in what I knew love to be now as an adult and knocking into my 30s.
Wow.
So how I would define it for me is when you're able to love that person for who they are.
Period.
You don't want to change a thing. And they want to, and if there's things that you might communicate and they want to do it for you, allow them to do it. But when you see them in their natural form, and that is okay with you.
Yeah. As raw and authentic.
As
Not
they can be,
when we get married, I'm gonna do this.
Yes.
He gonna start dressing
Yes.
this way. No, it is none of that.
That's not love.
Nope.
If you got to be with
not
somebody
love.
because it's financial or it's like an opportunist thing, you don't love that person. You're gonna step out on me. That's the automatic.
Yep.
6 months, a year down the line, you're gonna step
Y'all
out on
gonna
that
hate
person.
each other.
And I also want to say too, because I'm very big on allowing people to be who they are.
Yeah,
Just
me
be
too.
who you are, because
Me
some
too.
people are like, oh, you shouldn't want nobody for their physical, you shouldn't want nobody. If that's what you want, who am I to say that that's not okay for you?
Yeah.
If you're a person that likes material things, that's you.
That's
Right.
true.
You can do whatever
true.
you and and so I can't say, oh well, this guy, he too flashy for me, or whatever the case is. Then you don't like him because that's him.
Right.
So separate yourself and stop trying to fit everybody into your puzzle.
That's good.
Wow.
It doesn't. Not everybody is going to fit.
Okay.
But what I will say is, I can't wait to find mine. That's all I'm gonna say. And I'm gonna be
Me either.
patient.
Yeah. But you know what I tell people? It's not even so much that you find it. It just
appears,
It just
right?
appears.
It just
Once
shows
you
up.
realize who you are.
It just shows up.
Because let me tell you what I started to do. First of all, I probably would have been remarried had I not put my mouth on. Okay, I'm just going to wait till the kids go out of the house. You do all that. And I'm thinking like, not God being God.
Right.
He would have sent somebody to help me and these 3 children instead of me running myself ragged.
You might have blocked them.
I did what I just said.
Yeah.
My mouth, right? So even then, I remember coming home probably 2 summers ago. Coming home and I said, you know what? Okay, I tried the little online. That wasn't me. Okay, God, you created me.
Yeah.
You know who I am. I want you to love me through someone. That means I don't have to change anything. God know everything about me. He know I'm probably going to be late no matter how hard I try. He know I'm going to be, where's this going on? He knows things about me. So you know what's best.
Yeah.
And I started to tell women, what do you want love to do for you?
So I
What do you
want
want?
off of that, because I feel like, and the reason why, and I say I'm dating, but what is dating in 2020? But my thing is, I'm open to it. I'm always open to love. I don't shun it from me.
Yeah.
However, I know what I want it to look like. I know how I want to feel. But what I wanted to say was, I think that women need to do the inside work
Absolutely.
first in order to attract.
And so here's what I can say.
Because then it comes.
Then
It's voila.
Here's what I
Right
can
there.
say, being a woman that, and I talked about this before, I chose not to date. With
Why?
Clinton
Because your
Clark.
child.
I thought like that.
Because of my
That's
child.
what I did.
I had a business at 21. I just really didn't see myself extending myself to things that were not. I don't know the word that I want to use for that, but just adding things that were not of value to me. And at the time, not even at the time, because these men still play the same games.
Mm-hmm.
I just, with all the things that I go through, games is just not one of them. And I think that I've done myself a disservice because I missed a lot of blessings that came in front of me. But I was not of value to anyone. So that would have been very selfish of me.
Wait now.
No. Let me tell you why I say that. Okay? Remember now, I'm a person that has been on drugs.
Okay.
I'm a person that's dealt with a lot of, mental, emotional abuse.
Okay.
It would have been selfish of me to bring somebody into my shit.
I got it.
You know what I mean?
That's real.
Okay.
And so,
real.
however long it has taken me to get to this point, because I had to love me totally before
With
God.
all of that.
With all of that,
That's
before God would send me a man to say that, you know what, I'm gonna love you too with all of that, because I got to see you love you.
That's right.
With all of that before I can love you, and I love me, baby.
Yeah.
I'm the baddest chick I know.
Yeah.
And I mean that with all conviction.
Yeah.
And it ain't got nothing to do with how I look.
That's right.
It has nothing to do with what I've achieved, what my status is.
But so many women put emphasis on that.
But can I
So and it's not, and then they wonder why is nobody attracted to me? You don't know you, boo.
Right.
You don't know you.
They're foreign.
You don't know you, so he don't even know who to show up for.
Thank you.
Right.
So I want to piggyback off of what you're saying as far as like being selfish to basically give the man a job to complete you, essentially, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so I'm the same way. I started companies very young. I was with certain people who, if I'd have known better, I would have not been there. But guess what God did?
Absolutely.
He shut it all down. So what I want to say to you is, don't feel like you missed out on your blessings, because I was making six figures by the time I was 23 years old, but I was building with the wrong person. He had all malintention behind the things that I was doing.
Wow.
And guess what God did? He said, hold on, let me clear this slate real quick. Now there is no more of what I built, because I wasn't supposed to build it.
And you're right. I don't feel like I won't say that I've missed out on a blessing, because if the man that had come along was supposed to be here, he would be here.
Yeah, that's right.
And so the one that's gonna come, it's gonna be complete.
Not gonna come because he's
the one
already
that's
here. Reveal himself. Because we gotta. When I tell you these words are so powerful,
they are.
That we can. If you say stuff like "gonna come," you gonna still be reaching for it because it's never going to come. No, when he reveals,
when he shows up,
there you go.
Yeah.
But you said something very, very, very important, that you were building with the wrong person at about 10 years of our marriage, right? I had this dream, like this vision dream. It wasn't a normal dream. And in this dream, my ex-husband and I were walking down the street. And as we walked down the street, the clouds formed a face. Well, the face started to open its mouth. And so I'm like, come on, we got to get to them blessings. Come on. And in the dream, I looked back at him and he's like,
whoa.
I'm not going. Now, it took me years to realize I would have gotten divorced that next day had I had an understanding of this is over with. Whatever I'm coming into, it wasn't for him.
But you know what I do?
But we stay, right? Well, we gonna fix this.
We stay and we protect.
But
yes.
But when you get to a higher level of understanding God,
because God was like, the anointing is for you, boo.
When you come into the understanding of that, and those things show up, then you recognize them more. And you're able to, kind of prevent some things.
My mental, when I think about things like that, is I'm in an airplane. I'm up here. All my blessings are up here with me, cloud 9. But if there's too many people on my landing, they can't come down. Wow. I can't experience everything that I'm supposed to experience. When I say
they're blockers.
Literal
blockers.
And I went on a rampage one day on my Instagram because it showed me there was a situation where I missed out on a 6-figure deal when I was with my ex. Decisions that I could have made that were different, decisions that he was making that could have been different. Just all the way around, it was just, nothing was doing like this. Everything was just like, ugh. I'm struggling. And I'm like, but I know I got this. I know what I'm capable of. Broke up with him, lost everything. My dream car, my home that I was in. And now I got 2 babies I got raised by myself. And I didn't get my 6-figure contract. I had to restart. A year to the date. Then people called me. Gave me that 6-figure deal.
Wow.
Single as ever. And now I have full control over.
So you could fully see what it was.
I went on a rant. I was just like, y'all got to get people out y'all circle that's not supposed to be there.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, because you're talking. What was the relationship like?
So the reason why I didn't comment on your question about a man stepping out and then coming back and saying that I've never experienced that.
Okay.
I pray that I never don't. Because God knows that things can go from 0 to life in prison for me real quick. You
already did.
You say you already did.
So the relationship that I was in was a guy who was raised by a woman, all women, not by his mother. His mother had him at a very young age. He was raised by his grandmother. His grandmother left where they were in a different city. Her amazing job because her husband was on drugs. So she left everything that she worked for to move her husband away from drugs. So that and then they came down and struggled to, so it was like, I felt like there was a lot of resentment in the household, just things like that, things that I'm noticing. But as far as he and I goes, I feel like if I could put it in perspective.
Was he jealous of you?
Ooh,
That's it.
There, literally every holiday, birthday, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, where he could make sure that I was not okay. That was his goal, was to make sure that I did not enjoy myself. I wasn't building myself.
That jealousy in a relationship thing, we don't talk about that. We don't understand it. So when we first started dating, what was attractive to my ex-husband was my family would do the big holidays and things. I had lots of signs, but you don't really hear. And I was 21, 22. I got married at 24. So you don't hear these things, and nobody's taught you. Old school, everybody got married at 20-something.
Right.
So they don't teach you.
And everybody comes from the same kind of family.
But things like being told by his grandfather, well, that's my outside child. And thinking things, that's normal. So when an outside child presented itself in our marriage, because it did, he was expecting me to stay and bring the child over on the weekend. It's not my baby.
Right.
And I have a choice here.
This ain't Kirk and Rashida, baby.
This ain't Kirk and Rashida. Sorry, I don't want to do this. Let me tell you why I don't want to do this, because I don't want my boys to grow, or my daughter to think this is normal.
Right.
This is not normal, but it's the jealousy. I would even see him because he deployed a lot with military. So when he would come back, if we had a routine or something that we were used to doing, a favorite movie, favorite meal on Friday, he would get jealous of the children. You could see it, a lot of destruction in relationships. Jealousy is at the root, and not jealousy of another outside person. You. You were the heavy there. You had the contracts. You had you were the one that had the gift. Jealous of that.
So let's talk about these labels, people getting diagnosed and things like that. We've been dealing with this kind of stuff in our families for years. This is nothing new. I've seen it, especially in the 70s when women were getting a little further. The black man was, and even when Oprah came. Remember, black men hated Oprah. Right, because they were giving black women a voice, or even a platform to having a voice. And so I want to ask: when we go into these relationships, I know for women it's more we're looking for either the security that our father gave us, or the security that our father didn't give us. So are relationships just built on love? Because again, what is that? No. Because a lot of us have so much stuff that before we can even get to the love, we've already destroyed it because we ain't dealt with ourselves.
Well, a relationship is a purpose, period. You look at in different cultures, they don't even know the person enough to love them.
Okay.
They can build empires.
So we the only ones get married
together.
for love.
we're the only society that's really out of order.
Okay.
We claim we follow God, but we really so out of order, it's ridiculous, right? Because we're free.
Yeah.
We do whatever you want to do, and we don't deal with the consequences because we sweep everything under the rug. We don't deal with consequences of our mess. But in other societies, you don't even know that person. You're promised to that person at 8 years old because they are protecting their wealth, whatever their industry is, or the family may say they have 20 acres and we have 8.
Yeah.
So we're going to marry you off so that we can have more. Yeah. We can grow more land. We can harvest more fruit and vegetable here. Yeah. We don't have any of that.
So I think that it is opposite. I feel like the problems that cause divorce in the United States are what other countries deal with first. The
yes.
The this, the that.
That's good.
So that their marriage, the stress of money and all that kind of stuff is already taken care of. Now
that is actually God's way of compatibility.
Right.
We have it wrong here because we have to be attracted to you on the front end and everything is roses, right? And then shit fall out. Everything hit the fan once you get married.
Right.
When other places, we struggled because you knew at 8 you were going to marry Akbar. You knew that at 8.
And it's 24 cows.
Right. You knew that.
Right.
And Akbar family was going to give you 24 cows. Right. And that was going to sustain y'all. We don't do that. Yeah. We get it's all the wrong reasons. I think it should too.
And so with that being said, I'm going to tell y'all, when I talk about dating and things like that and bringing men into my life, it's a job interview. In my opinion, from me. I'm trying to figure out what your mind is like. Are you business minded? Do you know how to get it by any means necessary? I prefer a father, honestly, that already has children. I already have children. But let me see how you figure. Let me see how you treat yours.
Right.
Because then do I want to have some more with you? You get what I'm saying? Like, these are all things that I'm thinking about as I'm thinking of bringing someone into my life. No man that I've ever dated since my relationship ever has met my daughters. I have girls.
Yeah.
You don't come near my children.
That's right.
You got to be with me for
Same way with mine.
Right.
Same way with mine.
Before I even allow us to go on a park date or something like that, just because I don't know your intentions yet and things like that. But it is an interview, in my opinion. I'm looking at just besides the physical. That's on there too. Don't get me wrong. But
baby,
right. You can't be with no ragamuffin.
I need to look a certain way.
Yeah.
How can you be with somebody that you're not attracted
And
to?
that
happens.
Yes, it does. I've seen people get married like that, but I would say I remember somebody trying to introduce me to, girl, you got a good job, and I said, what do he look like? Well, you ain't gonna have no more children. That was her response to me. You ain't gonna have no more children. I said, yeah, but I got to take him places. He got to go with me.
And I don't think right. So and that's the thing. And sometimes I ask myself, okay, Reka, you tripping. You did that go good one right now, but y'all have y'all seen that meme where it's Jesus and he like this, and the woman is like, I thought you was gonna send me somebody. He said, I did, but you say he was wearing rock. So I wonder sometimes because you're 28, I'm 48, right? I wonder sometimes if I'm being shallow.
Now, that's a good point. I'm going to say this because a lot of times we don't know who they are. So God knows who they are. We don't, and again, this is stuff we're not taught, right? We don't know who they are. So dude could show up in Rockaware jeans, but he has in him 5 businesses. Understand the purpose of marriage, first of all. It is for purpose.
All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. I'm RekaJ from the A with my homies on play, and this is the Always1Hunnid show. All right, and we are back. I'm RekaJ from the A with my homies on play.
And I'm Tip Top.
And we're back from commercial break. So before commercial break, we've just been sitting here chatting, as women do. And I wanted to bring something up about what's been going on in our country. As you know, I'm a mother of a young black male in America. Tiffany has 2 sons. Nicole has 2 sons. And so, usually I'm very vocal. I'm posting about what's going on. But in this last month, I've kind of stayed away from it. I've chosen not to stay consistently glued to the TV. I've chosen not to be listening to the news reports because that stuff is really depressing, right? And because I've been in this fight for our youth for so long, sometimes I need a break from it. But at the same time, I'm still human and I'm still a mama. How y'all been dealing with what's going on? Have your nights been sleepless and restless?
Well, I can say because I've come from law enforcement, so I've seen both sides of it. I witnessed a 17-year-old commit suicide in jail, right straight, Fulton County. And all I could think about it was at the same time my son was 17. And he wrote on the wall, I don't know if y'all know the movie, what is it, the Candyman and what is it, the apartment complex,
Cabrini Green, yeah.
But when we went in the cell, it was pitch black. You could see writings on the wall, like it was like some kind of sacrifice or something like that.
Demonic.
Yes, but he wrote on the wall, "God forgive me." But before he was in the cell by himself, and it was not like he was facing murder charges or anything. He was just stressed out. He couldn't deal with that.
It was the
don't know if he
forces.
was tampered with, tampered with when he was young. But 17, you're going into a jail facility, and most of the men are 25 and up.
Scared too.
He was scared, and so he probably put himself in a hole. But in the midst of him putting himself in a hole, he went crazy. And all I could think about was my son, 17. And I've been preaching to them since, before, when you know better, you do better. And so when I started law enforcement, I started teaching them, certain things, the lingo, what you do when you get stopped, and what can happen, how you profiled, and how, to look out for certain things, and look over your shoulders, even with your homeboys, just all kinds of things. But I took on a lot of stress from that. I ended up having to take 3 weeks off once I seen the suicide, because it was stress. It was so stressful. Now I'm a single parent. I'm dealing with all this stuff at home, and then at the same time, my son was going through his crisis or whatever he was going through. So I ended up having a nervous breakdown. So it's.
So do you don't watch now?
I watch it because I stay informed, but I already know what's going on. But see, I also have to take sides with. Yeah. I know what I dealt with as a law enforcement, a female black deputy sheriff from Fulton County. Racism on both sides, and we can't say racism is all white. It can be black.
Right. That's right. Yes.
And
Is that racism or separatism?
It's racism against your own people. And then sexism if it's against males.
And that's what I had to deal with. So people didn't understand that. And even with working in the jail, working in the courthouse, and I can remember somebody telling me, even when we were dealing with racism and sexism, because I wasn't transferred to the courthouse because they were trying to get all the deputies out of the jail. It's how I appreciate you for you being you, because you didn't mouth your way to the top. It took me 3 years to get to the courthouse.
You did your job.
Average person, some of the women, 3 months, 6 months.
Wow.
And so we go through that.
Well, you don't have to tell me.
We go through those things.
Yeah.
I was going to say that I feel like people should stop applying so much pressure to how people are dealing with what they're dealing with. Because I'm very much so like you. I'm very much so opinionated, and I feel how I feel, and you can feel how you feel. I can't control how you feel, but you gotta allow me to process how I feel. So I'm not big on news. I'm not big on following the social media, and because guess what? Like I said, I go from 0 to 10. I'm gonna be real passionate about something, but then on social media, you turn around and it's a hoax anyway. So now you got me up in arms. And it's not even the truth.
So I want to ask. Go ahead.
I think for me, and I don't remember at what point this was, because we've seen this. So maybe it was Tamir, whoever it was at the time. And I remember being upset, and I remember my spirit saying, "This is the same thing your grandmother went through, and your great grandmother went through, and your father is here." Your grandfathers were here, so there is something in you that sustains. Stay right there. Use that strength. Don't get caught up in the media, right? Because what the media does what media does. I'm a journalism major.
Absolutely.
Right? First thing I learned.
Absolutely.
First thing I learned in journalism 101. Now you have to get up to the 300 class. It's the first class. The professor comes in at Georgia State University, comes in the room, writes on the board, people are stupid. And turned around and looked at us like, this is the basis of journalism.
Pretty much.
It is to propagate and perpetuate fear. Mm-hmm. You got people scared, you can't control them. Yeah. Inside of right. So from that, I always look at news like,
And I can recall that because I went down to one of the protests, and on the media would display, and I put it on live, and the media would display, oh, it's a fire going on, and
One thing going on.
I was sitting there, I'm like, okay, so this is the protest? Where am I at? This must
about
be the
5
protest
people
center.
probably was out there.
No, it was about 35, but they was like, police. I'm like, but what a roar at?
So when we say things like enough is enough, when you say this is the same thing your grandmother was going through, right? Are our grandchildren going to have these conversations? Are we going to, generations from here still going to have these conversations? Because us being tired has not been enough.
Yeah, but we don't deal with the root of the issue.
Right.
When we're tired, we don't deal with the root.
Front door.
Right? We don't deal with, we sweep everything under the rug. We've not come to the root of the issue. I'm going to give you a perfect example, because I used to work in education. So you'll have the mothers that come to the school, black mothers. You can't say nothing to my child. You can't say nothing to my child. Don't you say nothing to my child. By the time that child graduated at 18, 2 weeks after the graduation, we get a text. He's shot. No, he's shot. Or he's in jail.
For beating on the mother.
Or for beating on the mother. And it starts there.
So the problem is the lack of education, the lack of knowing. Because there are mothers like us that if we see a child that's not blessed to have a mother,
we coming at them.
We're gonna try to uplift them, right?
Yeah.
But even now with the younger generation of women who don't give a shit,
they don't.
They have no respect for themselves.
They don't.
How can we expect our children to further want to yearn to have some respect for themselves and be better people?
We gotta help.
When ain't nobody teaching them.
What I've always said, even when people go back to when they try to identify issues and they try to put a label on what's wrong. What's wrong with the black men? What's wrong with the black kids? What's wrong with this? I always say, black woman. And nobody wants to hear that. That is because the black woman raised the black man. She is the grandmother. You are the integral force.
Of everything.
Of everything. But you don't want to deal with your truth. You don't want to deal with any truth at all. We mask it. We make it look pretty. We go to jobs. We stay on these jobs longer than we are supposed to. We fix everything. Because of slavery. Because yes, they may have at that time come in and taken your son, right? Or taking your daughter. So all black women wanted to do at that point was keep the family together. They could have known Junior was messing with his little 5-year-old cousin in the room, but they didn't address it. They didn't address it because they wanted to keep the family together. Now we don't even know what that looks like.
How do we fix that though? Can we rectify that? Can we bring that back?
I don't know, because we don't even have the grandmothers like we used to have.
The grandmama had juice of crab.
Right. The grandmother's trying to turn up.
I'm
a grandmother and I'm like,
hey.
I was going to say, I was at juice.
Is it juice of crab?
We fall out because, and then at the same time, we don't raise these children and everything because we're younger. And we supposed to go automatically, okay, I'll keep you this weekend. You know, you go ahead and do what you need to do, baby. But no, I'm
you living.
Right, and so like my mother told me, you raised. But no, 2 weeks later they done had the baby. I'm in the club. Turn up. Shawty, what did Drake say? No, you need to sit home
but nobody tells them that.
So that's what I'm saying.
Nobody.
These young girls. Okay, so the situation. Young girl had a baby. 2 weeks later, she's moved to another state, chasing the baby daddy. I'm mad at the mama because the mama didn't tell you, young lady, that's not, come on now, you got to give your body. You know what I'm saying? Time to heal. And so the thing that I'm saying is that when there are mothers my age that don't know how to teach their daughters or that don't know how to teach their sons, I'm guilty of it too. In my parenting, you know what I'm saying? There's some things that I should have done, some
me
things
too.
I could have done.
Me too.
Right? But
Me
once
too.
you become aware of the things that you lacked or you didn't do, you try to rectify and fix that, right?
That's right.
But it's some people out here, I've seen it, I've witnessed it, that will rebuke the goodness that you're trying to do because of their bullshit.
Yeah.
And then the children end up suffering.
They're conditioned to it because they don't know that it's bullshit.
Right.
Because
Well, first
they
of all,
taught.
it's a lack of love too.
Right.
Because let's say, for instance, everybody in their life has left them or hurt them. The child, even if you are dysfunctional as Hades, a child is still loyal to their mother. When CPS defects try to go in and take a child out of a infested, rat-infested, nasty, crack-infested home, that child is still hollering for who?
It's the law of nature.
Their mother.
It is the law of
their
nature.
mother.
So,
That connection.
a
Yep.
point that I want to make is because I, as a mother raising small, little black children, my babies are 5 and 8, is as long as it's taken for us to, over generations, be reprogrammed to get away from understanding how powerful we are as a culture, understanding how we really could, we're superior in a lot of ways.
Yeah, we are.
People don't want to hear that. But mentally, physically, I feel like it's taken 400 some odd years of people from way back when who were reprogrammed, and this is only the beginning. And it started.
I agree with you.
Hear me? This is only the beginning.
I honestly think that's why these things are happening.
Yes.
So
Oh,
my-
yes.
To wake us
Breaking
up.
our-
Oh, yes.
To wake us up.
What I will say, because
Yeah,
one
I
thing,
love
a project
that.
that I'm going to be working on very soon, one of my biggest pet peeves is these young girls thinking that you have to be a rapper's baby mama in order to achieve the lifestyle that you want
Yes.
to achieve. I'm going to show y'all different. I have to show y'all
Absolutely.
different. I cannot look at my mother. Well, my mama, she up there. I'm like 60 something, but I'm
Okay.
young as 5.
Okay.
So, you know, it's different for me, and that's why I'm sitting back, because I don't think like that. I think different than a lot of the young women that you guys.
But you were called to, because that's your audience.
Right.
They need you.
right. And so,
Yeah.
with that being said,
Yeah.
I can't stress about my peers. I can only lead the woman by being the woman.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's good.
Be the change you want to see in the
That's
world.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So with my girls, they know unity. They know calling other women beautiful.
Yeah, it
They
is.
know, you know what I'm saying? My girls are the ones that I get a call from the teacher. I don't expect them to tell me that my children are being unruly. They're going to call me to say, Mason, help me diffuse a bully situation. And stood. You get what I'm saying?
You know the sad part about that with the women empowerment is that we've been so programmed to hate ourselves that when it comes at you, because I'm always, you know, uplifting black women.
Me too.
Always.
Me
Hey,
too.
beautiful. It is sad to think that women would come to the conclusion that she gave me a compliment, she must be gay. No, no.
Or it's
Beautiful.
like,
I just think you're a beautiful woman. And I think that because I need it, I know
But we
that I
don't
need
do
to be
that.
uplifted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you got to think of how many mothers. So let's talk about the mother, because a lot of black mothers can be toxic in a
Very.
lot of these
Very.
houses. I will never forget. I was at my kids' school. That's when we were in Douglas County. I'm at the school, so I hear a little girl just cussing up a storm. Now the little voice wasn't like an 8 or 9 year old, so I knew she had to be 5 or 6. I get around the corner, mind you, there's a white teacher standing right there, but she can't do anything with this little girl. So I walk up on her, and she cussing the little boy out behind her. Wait. We're not going to talk like this. What are you doing? Stop talking like that. I said, pretty little girls don't talk that way. That baby looked up at me. My mama said I'm not pretty. My mama said I'm ugly. She said I look like my daddy. At 5, that thing went all the way through
Girl.
because you thinking you got to do all of this, but you couldn't be cute and quiet in this line. So imagine what she is like at 15.
Yep.
Because even them 5 minutes that I told her, pretty little girls don't speak
Like the
this
little
way.
girl who said she was ugly about the hair.
Right. Like pretty little girls don't do.
Yeah.
That little girl ain't have a concept of what I was talking about.
And so you know what? I can attest or agree with that because I have been a toxic mother at times.
Me too.
Me too.
Because of
Me too.
you know, the stuff that
Not to my daughter though. To my sons.
was
Not
that
to my
projected
daughter.
anger
I would say
toward their father.
not towards their father, just tired as hell.
Right.
I'm tired.
And not wanting them to be
Now,
like
in
the
that
father.
way, well,
So,
You're just tired.
so why not
And
the
you
daughter?
That's a good question. And I think because it's easy to relate to the girl.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You have things
Okay.
in common with the
Okay.
girl. I don't know how to be a man.
And so I said to Nicole yesterday on a text that, you know, I realized that I had projected a lot of my stuff on my son, that I expected him to be the man that I needed for me, whether it was something that my father didn't give me. I expected him to give me that.
A lot of black women do that.
And
Now
we do
that
that with our sons.
I did not do with my sons because I had seen it. So I did not do. But what I did was isolate.
Right. That's the same thing I did. And I see it a lot when dealing with the court, being in law enforcement, not to keep reflecting on back on that, but I've seen it a lot. And my baby, I was never that because
Me
I seen it.
neither.
I seen my brother get babied as a child. I never babied my
Me
kids,
neither.
but they had their own ventures. But at the same time, I helped them and guide them, and do things they're supposed to do. But I didn't baby them. They can't never say that I was a
No,
mama boy.
I wasn't
yeah.
that kind of mama. But I think me projecting my expectations on him,
Was what you wanted. Was the man that you wanted.
For you.
probably.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah,
Probably.
that's good.
I feel like for black women,
That's good.
we are programmed to deal with more,
Yeah.
and we don't give ourselves credit for that. So for me, as I'm mothering my children and trying to be different, some things with the way my mother mothered me, I'm eating the meat, I'm chewing out the bones. There are certain things that I see that are transpiring through me that she inflicted on me. Just because it's a lot. My mama had 5 kids. I have 2. It feels like 17. We have all been single mothers at some point. I don't have all the patience I'm supposed to have.
Yep.
However,
That will come with age too.
but what I will say is I'm more self-aware, and that just goes
Yeah.
back to doing your inner work. There are
That's
times,
good.
like my father, he comes up to me one day because my girls are sharp. I don't baby them. However, we have intimate moments. They're very touchy-feely. I'm not. I had to learn to be that. That was
Wow.
my inner work that I had to
Right.
do. So my dad comes to me one day, and he says, when we got home, they left something unclean that I asked them not to do. Okay, y'all are 5 and 8. Y'all are my 5 and 8-year-old. I know y'all know better. So whip you into shape real quick. Y'all know what we're supposed to do. This and that. So my dad wants to pull me to the side because he's there. He wants to pull me to the side. He said, sometimes. Oh, and then I separated myself. This is the part. I separated myself, and I went in the room and I allowed them to have some time to themselves as well. Go play. I know that was rough. I walk in the house and I get this. But I'm like, y'all need.
Yeah.
I need time. They know that. My girls know that. They'll sometimes come around the corner and be about to ask me something, and then just be like.
But
let
see,
me-
the difference and what I admire most about Mika at a young age is the self-awareness part. Because when
right.
you know,
My dad he tried to call me out.
Yeah.
Tried to call me
What
out.
did he say?
He said, sometimes you need to spend more time with your girls. I see you separate yourself a lot. I said, Daddy, when you was growing up with us in our household, you left whenever you wanted to. And my mother was there no matter what was going on. I said, sometimes the energy that I have is not good for them at that moment.
Ooh, that's good.
And I can't translate that to them. So give me my space. They got their space.
Right there. That's
Okay.
good.
It's a transfer. It's a constant
Yep.
transfer.
yes,
Yeah.
it is.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
not big on being involved with problematic people and men and all of that kind of stuff because I am a woman and I will carry it, and my girls don't deserve that.
That's right.
And I never fed on drama. Drama,
Me
like,
neither.
Like it ate me up. I'm like,
I cannot.
I've never been a bitter baby mama.
Me
So
neither.
I can't relate to you.
Me neither.
Blowing up to
Me either.
Barry.
But now, here's what I've come to understand.
What is that? Where do we come from? What is that mess?
And what is it? And some men feed on that though.
Or people
That's what I was getting ready to say.
They do.
What I've come to find out is that
I
some
don't know. I
men's
never personally knew that.
insecurities are so deep that kind of attention makes them feel good about themselves.
Well, they grow up in it. Let me give you a perfect example. When I first was dating my ex-husband, okay? His cousins walked in the house, but they had plotted outside to act like they were one of them was girlfriend. Well, I don't do drama, so I'm sitting there just like, when you ain't called me, you know, they have a whole plot going on. And they were like, we just playing. We wanted to see what you were going to do. Nothing. Because you very well could have dated him. I don't know his whole life and nothing.
There's a different caliber of woman that is growing up in my generation.
Yeah. That would have jumped up and started fighting.
No, the opposite.
Okay.
I actually pride myself on being unbothered.
So,
Me too.
but in your generation, so there's a thing.
Okay.
So, that I congregate.
I want to say about this comedian who's not funny to me, that goes around and makes these skits about crazy women. It's not funny. Being mentally ill is not funny.
That's right.
I've dealt with it.
Yeah.
I've seen it. And children suffer. And so when you make fun of these situations, it's acceptable for this shit to keep happening. And then we're not speaking the truth. And then we're not dealing with things. Because there are some wounded, damaged
Or when something happens, when
people.
somebody snaps.
Right.
Well, what happened?
That's that angry black woman.
But that's the first
And
thing.
that's the
First thing everybody want to say. Well, what happened?
Right.
Well, what could we have done differently? A lot.
Yeah.
Showed up. Been there.
Right.
A lot you could have done. I mean, I had a situation. When I text you, like I need some help with my son. Well, for the most part, my ex-husband, after the divorce, he moved down to South Georgia, then he moved to New Orleans. So he never interacted day to day with the children. Now, would pride himself on being a father. Tell me what teacher they had. Tell me what grade they had. That's what a parent does, because my daddy knew everything. What's the name of the doctor?
When last time they had an immunization?
When the last time? Because that's the kind of stuff that my
What's
daddy
their social
did.
security
What's their favorite color? Right.
What's their baseball schedule?
Ask me. My daughter got a whole basketball scholarship to college. Her father has never seen her play high school basketball. Never.
Was he there at the signing?
No, he wasn't at the signing, but you go to his
they
Facebook
just
page.
show up
They
at
just
the
show up
grandbaby
at
birthday
graduation.
later.
Yeah, they show up
at
at
the
graduation
grandbaby birthday
and stuff like that.
Oh,
But nobody told you that how to even be a father. They don't even know how to be a father.
sorry.
Hush, ma'am. They don't even know how. But no, and then you have women as mothers who do what? Support that. Because a lot of us are married to sorry sons that are somebody's sorry man,
Now, what
sorry
I will
baby
say-
daddy. And these mothers will support it.
What I will say for me though is my girls don't hear me.
That is true.
They don't see me speak bad on
That's
them.
true.
They don't see any interaction between us.
Yeah.
Because I do still. My emotion is not because there was love
Right.
lost. My emotion is.
I didn't do it with mine either.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just don't deal with that. I
Yeah.
don't do it because at the end of the day, I pray that he has a shift and can become what my girls need as a father. That is it don't got nothing to do with you. I just pray that you end up getting it right before she starts to form her own opinion.
Yeah. Well, that's what I allow to happen. I allow each one of my children to form their own opinion.
Me too.
So every last one of them came to it on their own.
And your
I didn't
character is your
have to do
character.
anything
No matter
because
where you
they
go.
can see it. I didn't have to say anything. Nothing.
And that's why I don't speak bad on them, because
Yep.
it would come to the forefront. And they will see it when they get older.
It's gonna backfire on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll backfire on you.
Yeah.
And I really don't know. I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, I don't know what needs to happen, but I do believe that it starts with the black woman and what we expect of men and what we expect as, you know, being mothers and who we raise. And that's the only way that I can contribute. I can't.
Somehow
change
we
the
stop. At some point we stop caring.
Mm-hmm.
We stop caring.
Yeah.
We
And
don't care.
Started to tolerate and started to accept and to what's the word? Overcompensate.
Oh yeah, yeah,
For other things that's missing. So we start doing extra. And
yeah.
before we go into the definition of each one of us saying enough is enough, sometimes I guess as far as women and mothers, we can put a very bad spirit or detrimental over our sons because we want them to be who their father wasn't, who their father was,
Or who our father wasn't.
And not letting them build their own character.
Yeah. I'm guilty of that.
too.
For themselves and do stuff. Oh, baby, I got it. Baby, that's my baby. Oh, I'm gonna do it. Go sit down. Fix your plate. No.
Now I wasn't that. I was. I wasn't
Meanwhile,
that.
your daughter's over there in the corner crying, popping pills, cause
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, I wasn't that mothering, nurturing stuff. I didn't hardly even do baby talk with children. So my children walked early, talked early. Hey, when you're a certain age, you know how to take them. When this car stops, that you need to be taking them straps out, hopping down, so I can take you about that car seat.
Right.
That's the kind of mother I was. Is I always was more concerned with what type of adult will you become.
Me.
That I don't. I'm not one of those mothers that, oh, I don't want to see my baby grow up. Or, oh, like when you said, you ready to go for Kennedy to go to college? Yeah, because she got a life.
yeah.
She got to live.
Yeah.
You can't stay here with me.
I'm
I want you to go.
My 17-year-old.
I want mine to go.
The empty nester.
You'll get over it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you'll get over it. No, you'll still get over it.
Yeah.
Because
Are you
you
gonna be able to go to college?
you've built
They
into
5 and
that.
8.
You have a vaccine by then. There'll be immunization and things.
They're on their own
Work on
college.
middle school, okay? How about you just try to see if they can get to middle school?
In my mind, I'm like, you know what? Y'all can just stay.
You know what? Because
And
no,
If they want to.
no. That's what you say now.
Right.
That's what you say now. But
But here's the thing, y'all. We have to look at how we raise our kids based on our stuff.
yeah,
Because it sometimes.
Women, we, in my opinion, and I've talked to my friends about this, because you said a crutch for my girls. I'm not denying them life to live. However, in the same way, what if we flipped it? And instead of coddling our boys, we actually allowed our girls to be girls.
Oh yeah,
You get what I'm
definitely.
saying? That's why I don't want to think of it as being a crutch. It's just,
Love
I
them.
grew up
Keep
like
them as
that.
innocent as
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
I got what you're saying.
you see, but
Keep them as
it's- there's
innocent
a
as you
balance.
can.
There's a balance,
Yeah.
you know, and I want my girls, because I don't have that, and I need that. I need to know.
yeah.
But don't, and I would say, don't become too codependent on them so much that you lose yourself.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna
Yeah.
leave,
Right.
and you don't want to be stuck. Like, okay,
Now
who am I outside of their mama?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that either. I don't think I'm
I don't see you
I'm
being
balanced.
that way.
That's
But that's
the thing.
like I remember when I was posting Kennedy's graduation pictures, and people, because Kennedy and I are very, very close. I have a very close bond with my daughter. But what you gonna do now? What you mean? What I'm gonna do? I got plenty to do.
Right.
What, the soon as that little Honda Pilot gonna drop her off at that school and
Well, you know,
have plenty
I
to do.
can't lie about it. When Quentin graduated, I was like, oh my God, because my life had been consumed
Right.
with just him, his sports, that kind of thing. I had pretty much centered my life around him.
because you know why? We don't have to do anything but that. We don't have to deal with our stuff. You don't have to
Of
date
course.
anybody else.
Of course.
You can use
It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe. I
safe.
got football on Friday night. I got wake up. I got
Absolutely. It's
basketball on
safe, yeah.
Saturday. I got golf on
Okay.
Sunday.
And not
Yep.
speaking sexually or anything, no
Why
incest
not?
or anything, but not going there yet. But you know what I'm saying?
I'm like, yeah.
Now I travel with my friends. But you know, just different things like that I wasn't able to do in the relationship that I was in. So I didn't even know that I liked to do that. I didn't get a passport until I was 20. You know.
Speaking of passports, mine is about
I
to
didn't get one
expire.
until I was, what, 39?
You get what I'm saying? So I do make it a point to make sure that I stay in tune with me,
Yeah.
because I'm not okay for them if I'm not okay.
That's right.
You know, I love
And
it.
so self-care
Yeah.
is very important when it comes to dealing with enough is enough in the world. Everyday stresses are going to exist. People are going to die. Sickness is going to happen. relationships are gonna be bad, jobs are gonna, you're gonna lose jobs. It's just about your sustenance that you have, whether or not you're willing to.
So what is your enough?
Enough for me is, my tolerance level is for things is here. So I don't really deal with a lot of madness, right? Enough is enough for me is for us to stop killing each other and losing our black men. Because without them, we can't grow. No matter who's shooting us, we dying. So that's enough, is enough for me. Yeah.
My enough is enough blaming outside sources for our inner traumas.
Wow, that's it.
And
That's it.
I would say that the only thing that I can do to help move this process forward is what I can do in order to move this process forward. So enough is enough of trying to blame my mama, trying to blame my daddy, trying to blame this man, trying to do all of that. I'm taking responsibility and I'm gonna raise these girls in the way that I want to raise these girls. And it may not be all right all the time, but it's gonna be different. You can't expect change when we're all doing the same thing. So
That's right.
that's my enough.
Yours.
Ooh, my enough is enough would be for us to just stop trying to do it all, or just trying to do. Period. We do too much. We're trying to fix it. We're trying to be too much. We're trying to go too much. Just be.
And
Just
Tiffany, we'll end with yours.
My enough is enough is look in the mirror and say you're not perfect. You have flaws.
You're imperfectly flawed.
Yes,
That
I
part.
would say that.
But yeah.
But I can't say that. I don't believe nobody can say that they're perfect because
That's
it's
no-
100%. That would
no.
be like this, like
Yeah.
big head. But I know I'm not perfect and accepting my flaws. Enough is enough. For as knowing what not to accept, how to deal with things, how to come at things, and just
Without trying to be right all
right,
the time.
Yeah.
and no.
And just live life. Just live
Just-
life
like
in
I
love,
said, just be.
peace, and harmony.
Just
yeah.
be.
So we did an exceptional job tonight, ladies. We've done 2 hours.
Wow.
We may have to break this up and do 2 segments, but we
This
want to
was
bring
fun.
the men back, and we want to do some dialogue with them.
We need
Yeah.
the real
And we-
men to come out there and just like
Yeah.
And talk.
So we will catch you guys. Go watch our shows. The Always 100 show. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Nicole, you can give them your information. Me.
J. Nicole Speaks on Facebook.
I am CEO.me.
I think so on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll include the links at the end of our videos. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm RekaJ from the A with my homies on play.
and I'm tip top.
Peace.